Welcome to ZOOMERTIMES TV. And here's your host, Anita Finley.
So good morning, everybody. I'm happy to be here again. I'm Anita Finley, and I'm always happy to be the host of ZOOMERTIMES TV with experts and fantastic guests, and you learn a lot if you just listen carefully. Before we start, let me tell you a little bit about Prevision. It's a #1 pharmacist recommended for memory support, and I have some friends who have been taking it. They seem to be very happy. You can buy it at Publix. It's called Prevision. Okay, so now we're going to get started with John Ahlbum. John Ahlbum is a longtime friend and colleague and advertiser in Boomer Times, and he does a lot of good things for people besides just advertising United American, which is the company that he's been with for so many years. How many years have you been there, John?
Close to 30.
Are you one of the old, now I'm saying oldest, but are you one of the people who've been with them the longest down here?
One of the longest term agents, yes. There's a couple who've been there a little longer than me or the same amount of time.
Well, I know that you just went to a convention from United American. Do they have one every year?
Yes.
And where are they usually held?
Supposed to be in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico.
Oh.
But because of the COVID, they pulled out of there and ended up going to Fort Lauderdale because I think a majority of the people who qualified for the convention were agents from Florida, so it was easier just to set it up there. So we were at the Marriott Harbor Beach, and it was very nice.
What do they do at a United American convention?
Well, the first night, Monday night, we had an Eagle dinner. The Eagles are the top 10 agencies in the country. And that was at a place called the Boatyard. And that was very good. And then Tuesday was the travel day for most agents to come in. So you have a meet and greet kind of in the lobby if you have people coming in, that are on your team. And then that night is a buffet dinner, just a welcome dinner kind of. The next day, I didn't stay at the hotel. I spent the night at the hotel, but I went up to the office to get some stuff done and went by our house to check on things. And but they had they rented a bunch of cabanas at the beach so that anybody that wanted to go to the beach could go spend time on the beach. Then that night we had the awards dinner, or I guess you'd call it the awards dinner, where everybody at the convention was invited to, and it was at a place called the Venue in Fort Lauderdale, because the dining room at the hotel was under construction or remodeling or something. So they bussed us over there, and we had like a cocktail party to begin with, and then we had the dinner, and then after that there's awards and speeches and introductions and things, and then there's a after party, and then they bussed us back to the hotel.
Oh my, that was like a real honeymoon vacation. That was great. And you're one of the Eagles, so that was really special for you. I know you told me about that the last time we talked.
Actually, I was the first double Eagle.
Oh my goodness, how could I forget that? So you were a double Eagle because you have done more insurance contracts than anyone else?
I have Devin Barta and Tim Ahlbum, who are both Eagles. So they started a new category for an Eagle who had other Eagles on his team.
Ah.
The first one to be a double Eagle.
Tim is your son, right?
Mm-hmm.
Runs in the family, doesn't it? That's right. Were you a Boy Scout? Excuse me.
Was what?
Were you a Boy Scout before?
Years ago.
Right. Okay. Well, I always like I never know who's listening who didn't listen before. So even though you may have to repeat some things, I'd like you to repeat why you've been with United American so long, and what is it that makes it so good. I'm going to get some water. Keep talking.
Okay. My reason for United American and me being together so long is the fact that I really like the company. I admire management. I like the fact is they're the only insurance company I've ever seen who has a special department set up just to assist agents and agencies. Everybody in the department is trained to answer agents' questions or to help an agent if they're having trouble with a certain policy or an application or something like that. Instead of just saying, send it to send the person to customer service, we can encourage all our clients to contact us, and we've got we can go directly to agency service if we need help. That's one of the reasons. The other is the fact that United American's been around since right after World War II and continuously just really doing supplemental type insurance. They started out with, like a small cancer plan and a supplement to health insurance and things like that. And then when Medicare started, they were one of the pioneers in the Medicare supplement business. And in fact, some of the supplements now that have been adopted universally by Medicare were kind of patterned after a couple of voluntary policies that United American designed and came out with back before the Medicare had their own, everything was standardized. And is the service and the reliability and the fact that their premiums stay pretty regular compared to some of the companies. And especially in Florida, it's an issue age state, meaning that whatever age you are when you sign the application is the age that you'll be considered forever for your premium. So if you're turning 65 and you'll always be 65. So that
Okay, well, explain that. So you're saying that other policies that it's not done that way?
Florida's an issue age state. There's three different kinds of policies. There's an issue age that multiple states have. There's attained age, which a lot of states have. And the drawback there is that every year on your birthday, you get a birthday present. Until you're 81 years old, you get a rate increase. Because it goes up every year on your birthday. And then they have what they call community rated, like in New York and Connecticut and some of the New England states and some of the other states. And community rated is male or female at the same rate. And in a lot of cases, there's no age difference. If you're 65 or 105, the premium's the same thing. And most of the community rated states, the underwriting is a little easier than in non-community rated states. So, and United American is whatever state they're in, they follow the rules of the state, but they get policies out quickly. And as I said, I like the fact that we can get answers quickly through agency service for our clients. So we encourage our clients to contact us instead of going to, direct to customer service, come to us and we can get it answered quickly. And sometimes we can answer it for them just for them calling us.
Sure. Let me tell everybody I'm talking to John Ahlbum. He is the founder and the president of the Ahlbum Insurance Group. It's actually, and they are located in Margate, but they will handle anything in Florida, actually. But this is what they specialize in. Their phone number is 877-970-4760. Is that right?
That's right.
970-4760. And you can go on their website. You know, I always say get on the website if you can, because you can find a lot of things that you can't talk about now. Ahlbumgroup.com. And Ahlbum is spelled a little differently. It's AHLBUM. AHLBUM. It isn't like a photo album. AHLBUM. And John has been such a nice person for so long and with us. He's just been loyal. He's done our expos. He's done our symposiums. He's one of our special people, as a matter of fact, and I always appreciate people like this. And you know, John, I wanted to tell you, I wanted to ask you a question. If two people are on a United American in a family, do they get a better rate?
No. The companies that give a discount for household, generally, if it's only one person on it, it's more expensive than our company. So they've never really done a like a household discount. And it seems to work out okay without it.
Okay, well, no, because I know when my wonderful husband passed away, of course, he had been with United American for so many years, and I didn't know what happened about that. I was just curious. So it never didn't change, no.
Right. And you stayed the same age.
Of course. Oh,
The application.
oh, that's right. Yeah, we say the same age. I like the way you put that. Right. That's really great. The other interesting thing is, and I like people to know about people, which I think is important because there are, and I can't blame people from moving from position to position, and they don't like this, they get into real estate, or they get into insurance, or they get into something else, with widgets. But you had quite a life change when you were much younger. You were in insurance, right? And you had a family. And why don't you tell people you were certainly in tremendous trauma for something? Do you mind talking about that?
For which?
Talking about what happened in your life when you were young with your family.
When I got into insurance?
Well, you got into insurance, but you also in your lives, you had a very serious thing happen to your wife, and it shows just the kind of person you are.
My wife Carolyn died of cancer when I had all 4 kids were home, and Emily was only a year and a half old. She was the youngest. And at that point, I was selling boats and demonstrating boats and stuff, and it was a fun job. And my 2 sons, who were old enough, loved it because a lot of times they could get to go out with me on a demo ride and stuff. But I didn't want to become a daycare father, where they only saw me on a weekend or on a Sunday or something. And the boatyard that I was working for said, "You're going to have to get a babysitter. We're going to need you here on weekends and nights and some other stuff." And I said, "No, sorry." And I started looking around, and insurance just seemed to be the real answer to my needs. I could make a living. I could adjust my schedule as needed, that if I woke up in the morning and one of the kids had a fever or something else and couldn't go to school that day, I could change my appointments and stay home with them.
Well, John, let me ask you though, what year was this when this happened to your wife?
She died in 1992.
And did you have parents that could help you? Who helped you?
I helped me.
You didn't have a family that jumped in
We had no family in Florida. My mother was in Arizona taking care of my stepfather, who was sick with leukemia at that point.
Oh,
So but it worked out, and my oldest son, Casey, was able to help out some, and from time to time, we would have some relatives or somebody, come down and stay a little while so I could get some stuff done and get caught up. But it worked out very well. And now my son, Tim, is in the business with me. My current wife, Donna's in the business with me. My daughter, Lindsay, was going to go in the business and then became a teacher instead, and she loves teaching, so she's an elementary school teacher. And my oldest son, Casey, his wife, Christine, is part of the agency. So.
and let's talk about your new wife. I mean, here you are, you're a real full-time dad, full-time insurance person. How did you meet your wonderful wife, and how did that all go? And how did the kids react to a new mom? I mean, we've never talked about this. Is this embarrassing for you?
This was I met Donna on one of the social sites and we talked on the phone. We, talked for a couple of weeks, and she said the night that she thought that we should really get together was, I said, I'm sorry, I've got to run. I'm cooking spaghetti for Emily's dinner, and what was it we got together on? Which program? Where we met online.
Oh, Match.com.
Match.com is the one that we hooked up on. And then our first date was at JB's on the beach in Deerfield. And then we got engaged at JB's on the beach a few months later, and it's been a great relationship.
Yeah, but let's go back to something. So now here you are, you have these young children, and had Donna any children also that she brought to this marriage?
She had of her own, but they were all grown, mostly grown. And by the time that Donna and I got together, Emily was getting ready to start middle school. So she was a little bit more self-sufficient. And the others, Timmy was in college. Casey was out of college. Lindsay was about to graduate from high school. So it worked out well, and Donna worked for a private school for a while and decided that she liked to learn about the insurance business. So she started coming in the office whenever she could, and kind of osmosis, and she liked it enough that she got involved in it, and she was an Eagle at one point too. So she's been a very successful agent and manager. And her philosophy is, being the fact that she was a divorced wife for years and knows what it's like to be a single woman. Her philosophy was that she wanted to recruit women who she could help become successful. And that's what she still aims for and that's the only people she wants to recruit, and that's good. I mean,
Well, this is a lovely story, John. I know that we talk about United American, but I think that people always want to know a little bit more about their agent or the person they're working with. We never get to hear much about our doctors. They're too busy and we don't know how they do. Now, when I've had them on my radio shows, I do try to get some personal information out of them, but this is very important. And I don't know if everybody would be as open as you've been, but I think it makes a difference when people know what you've been through, and you're in the insurance business, you have a big heart. And if they have a problem, you're not going to just say, well, you'll have to just deal with it. You're going to help them because that's who you are. And I think it showed that from your life's experience.
And I like to help people. And I think that's part, to me, that's a really important part of our business. And when I bring in new agents or train new agents, I say, you've got to return phone calls. You get a call, you got to call back within 24 hours, and you've got to take care of the problem, not just yes and, kind of blow them off. You've got to make sure that they're taken care of. And if you do, then in a few weeks, you'll able to get a phone call from Mary Jones, who said, I live next door to one of your clients, and they highly recommended you. I said, and that's how you start building your business, is through referrals and through recommendations from other people.
No, that's very true. So my guest, just repeat that, is John Ahlbum, AHLBUM. He's the founder and the president of the Ahlbum Insurance Group, and their phone number is 877-970-4760. And John's office is down in Margate. He happens to be on the Cape now because they have another home up there, but they still have a family down here. You heard that a lot of their family works down here as well. They go back and forth. But with nowadays, with the communication wave we have, here we are on Zoom, and he's up there, we're down here, or you on your telephone, or you can really accomplish everything. And it's a new world, a new wave. And
it really is different, but people expect it now that you're going to do something like Zoom or a screen share or something like that, versus there are some people that still want to meet face to face, and I invite them to come in the office because we've got a big conference table and they can, have social distancing and everything else, and both of the ladies that work for us have screens on their desks and stuff, the plastic screens, so that.
Oh.
And we've got air purifiers going in every room, so some people do come in the office, but a lot of them like the fact that they can just get on their computer and walk you through doing an application form on, over the computer. So it's
exactly. And of course we're all talking about Medicare insurance. There are people, you don't do anything with anybody who isn't 65 or under. I mean, Medicare, it's strictly Medicare, right? That's what you mean.
It's Medicare. We do, there'll be cases where one spouse is turning 65 and the other's still in their 50s and needs health insurance. And I've got a couple of agents in the office on our team who would do it. Plus I have a friend in Orlando who he specializes in under 65 insurance, and that's all he does. So I'll refer people to Tony Anton too, because he's very good and very quick with responses and things. So
that's a good thing, because that is, I'm sure, frustrating. And now I'm thinking about, there are some marriages where there's a 20-year, 10-year difference.
Yeah. And it's surprising, and you see more of it when you're in this business and dealing with seniors. But, I've had a couple where the husband is in his 80s and his wife is still in the 50s,
Good for him.
Yeah.
Well, actually, there was a 14-year difference between Bill and me, and I have to tell you, it was wonderful. I love that idea. It sounds like your wife is pretty closely aged with you.
She's a little younger.
Oh, okay.
that isn't a factor.
No, not a factor, right? Well, I have to just say that Medicare insurance is very, very important. Of course, there's a lot of complications to this whole Medicare insurance issue. We have the Medicare HMO Advantage. There are other kinds of things. And so you have to talk to someone who knows what they're doing. And even if you don't wind up, and I can assure you, even if going to John Ahlbum Group isn't exactly what happens, he and his associates will say, listen, it may not be for you. You may not have enough money to do this, or you may not have something. They'll help you. They're not going to just let you hang out there. And so, John, we're just out of time, but this has been very nice today, because I think that people know your name, they know your company, and they needed to know you a little bit more. And I know Donna's there, and hello, Donna. And it's important that you're a family company, I think, rather than a part of something that, you just do the
No,
clock.
I think it makes a big difference. Even one final thing, all of our agents together were like a big family, an insurance family.
Insurance family, yes, and I can attest that it's a very good company. So thank you, John. We'll talk to you again. Be safe.
Thank you.
Keep your masks on, and let's get rid of this thing as soon as we can.
I'm with you.
Okay, thank you, John.
Thanks,
Goodbye,
Anita.
everybody.
Bye-bye.